Okay, so the first question, I just read it. Really, I didn't mean it to write it that way. It should have said the sum of a number in 6 times 15, but it said plus 15. But just let's take the sentence as it is. So the sum of a number and 6, that should be represented. Sum is an operation, the addition. A number we don't know of, that will be represented with n and 6. Now, it says take that, add those two together. So you want to find this total of this, and to make sure that that's what you do first, we're going to use parentheses to protect our operation, and then plus 15. Okay, this really was supposed to be a times, but I made a mistake. Okay, right next to it, it says 8 less than the product of 7 and k. So let's take that step by step. So 8 is just simply 8. Less than means subtraction. And the product. Product means you're multiplying two things here. And in this case, you're multiplying the product of 7 and k. So you're multiplying 7 times k, or just simply 7k. Now, because in this particular sentence here, we had the word less than, you know you have to make a little switch. So the second k is going to go to the front, and the 8 is going to go to the back. Okay, it has to have that switch. Just remember that was less than. Okay. The quotient of W and a number. Why did I make these so easy? The quotient of W and a number. Wow. Not too sure what I meant by these, but quotient is a division, so I like you to use the fraction bar as your division sign, and you're dividing two things here. One is W, and in a number we don't know of, we can call that n. If you wrote it like this, there's nothing wrong, but I still rather if you write it like that. Okay. And last one, a number decreased by 8. Yikes. A number again. Let's use n. Decrease means subtraction, and by 8 means that. I think you had probably harder problems on today's classwork. And that's that for the first section. Okay. I might give you another review sheet on translating on Monday, because these really weren't much of anything. So second part, evaluate the expression a equals 6, b equals 3, c equals 5. So the first thing you should do is replace your variables with its value. So you got 2, a squared, a 6. So let's replace the a with 6. A squared minus c, and c in this case is 5. Okay. Now you just have to follow order of operations. Parentheses no, exponents yes. So we have 2, and the exponent is 6 to the second power, which is 36 minus 5. Next thing you should do is definitely multiplication. 2 times 36 is 72. Minus 5 will give you a total of 67. Okay. Right next to it, we have 2c squared plus 3a minus 2b squared. So let's replace our variables. So 2 times c, which is 5, squared to the second power, plus 3 times a, which in this case is 6, minus 2 times b to the second power, and b in this case is 3. So we have a decent sized expression. Let's follow order of operations. We have to do exponents first, so let's just keep everything and just do the exponents. 5 squared is 25. So again, I'm only doing the exponents, and 2 times 3 to the second power would be 9. Okay, now I can do the multiplications. 2 times 25 is 50. Plus 3 times 6 is 18. And minus 2 times 9, which is 18. Okay, so we have 50 plus 18. Addition does come ahead of subtraction, not because of the word pandas, but because it comes first as you're reading it from left to right. So 50 plus 18 is 68. Minus 18, and that's going to put us back at 50. Okay. B plus C minus A. B plus C minus A. So B was 3 plus C, which is 5, minus A, which is 6. Okay, so it's pretty simple. 3 and 5 is 8, minus 6. Final answer 2. The other one, it's B plus C over 2a. Okay, b on top is 3 plus c, which is 5, and at the bottom you have 2 times a, which is 2 times 6. Okay, so you do the denominator first and numerator on top. Okay, so two different things here. So denominator is 2 times 6, which is 12, and on top 3 plus 5, which is 8. And you can definitely simplify that. Divide top and bottom by 4, you get 2/3. Okay. Alright, next one. A squared minus 3b plus 2. Nothing, forget it. So let's replace it. A is 6 squared, so a is 6, so it becomes 6 squared minus 3. Inside the parentheses b plus 2, and b plus 2b is 3 plus 2. Okay, order of operations. We're going to do the parentheses here. Let's leave this alone. Minus 3, and inside the parentheses you get 3 plus 2, which is 5. 6 squared is 36, minus 15, and 36 minus 15 is 21. Okay. Right next to it you have c squared minus 4b plus 1. C is 5, so it becomes 5 squared, minus 4, and B is 3, so it becomes 3 plus 1. And 5 squared is 25, minus 4, and 3 plus 1 is 4. I should have done the parentheses first, sorry. Okay, but since it didn't affect, it was okay to do the exponents. My apologies. So now we have 25. And you have to do the multiplication. 4 times 4 is 16. And 25 minus 16 is definitely 9. Okay? Combining like terms. So let's move this a little lower. So you have an expression where 7k, I'll actually write it out, plus 8y minus 3k plus 2y plus 5. Okay. Let me have colors, so let's use it. So here, I'm going to circle all the terms that have k, and I really want you to be careful. Okay? And circle the minus 3k, not just 3k, but the subtraction sign. Okay? The sign that precedes it. So in a big circle, or tiny circle, you can write 3k, and I want you to write 7k and 3k. So that's what you're going to do on that one. Let me change colors again. So now we have y's. I'll put a rectangle around y's, and it's plus 2y. So now you got 8y plus 2y, and you have plus 5 at the end, and that is just a number, but since there's no other numbers, we don't have to worry about. So let's calculate here. 7k minus 3k is 4k. 8y plus 2y is 10y, and since it's positive, it's 10y. And I'm going to copy what's in that triangle right there. So we get 4k plus 10y plus 5. Okay, following expression, 5m plus 2, 4h minus 1 minus 3m. You cannot, and I repeat, you cannot start combining these until you get rid of the parentheses here. And the one way to get rid of the parentheses is to do the distributive property. So let's do that. The 5m stays as it is because there's nothing happening to it. And we're going to multiply the 2 times the 4h and the 2 times the 1 in the back. So 2 times 4h is 8h, and 2 times 1 in the back is 2. It's 2, but careful, it's a subtraction sign. Okay, and the minus 3m in the back we'll just copy. Now we'll combine like terms, and the only like terms that we have is 5m over here and minus 3m. Please be careful with that. So let me put that in a circle. 5m minus 3m. If I subtract those two, I get 2m, and notice that there are no other terms with an h and no other terms that have this just a old-fashioned number. So these two guys here in the middle, I'll just copy next to the 2m here. I got 8h minus 2. Okay. Where am I now? 8x squared plus 3y squared plus 7x squared plus 4x squared. Jeez, what was I thinking of? Okay, so like terms. There's an x squared here. This is also an x squared, and now I'm including the sign. And this is also an x squared, and I'm also including the sign. So we have three terms that are like. You have 8x squared, you have which you're adding to 7x squared, and which you're adding to 4x squared. Okay, so if you add these three terms up, you get x squared. 8 plus 7 is 15, plus 4 is 19, so you get 19. And this guy over here, there's no other terms with y's, so we're just going to copy that right next to the x squared, and you get 3y squared. Okay. The one on the side, a little bit, do I have a little room? Yeah, okay. So we have 9f squared plus 12g squared plus 13f squared plus 15g squared. In common or like terms, we have this guy over here along with the 13 plus 13f, and then we have 12g squared along with the plus 15g squared. Okay, so this is nice and simple because we're adding, just adding, there's no subtraction here. So 9 and 13 gives you 22f squared. Okay. And 12 and 15 is 27, so that gives us 27g squared. Okay. We got two more. Oh, it's pretty long. So let's see. We have 7h plus 3 parentheses, and here comes the lag again. 2a minus 5 minus 7h. Yikes. Alright. Again, we have parentheses here which you need to get rid of before you start combining. So you know you're going to be doing this 3 and 2a and 3 and 5. So let's do that. 7h stays the same. 3 and 2, 3 times 2a, it's going to give you 6a. And this 3 times that 5 is going to give you a minus 15. And finally we copy the last term over there, minus 7h. Are there any like terms? Yes, there is. We have a 7h over here. And we have a minus 7h. Okay, so 7h minus 7h, it's just going to give you, and I'll show you right here, going to give you 0. So that, they cancel each other out, and you're left over with these two middle terms. 6a minus 15. Okay. Next one. 5w plus 5 parentheses 3k minus 4 minus w. So let's see what we get here. Again, you got to get rid of the parentheses. 5w stays as it is. Let's multiply the 5 and 3k. That should give us plus 15k. The 5 and the 20 over there and the 4 there will give you 20, but it's minus 20. And finally the last term, minus w. We definitely have like terms. We have this 5w here and minus w in the back. So you get 5w minus w in the circle over here. And 5w minus 1w, because that's the same thing. You get 4w. 15k, there are no other terms with 15k. There are no other terms that are just constants. So these two terms, you're just going to copy right next to the 4w, and you get 4 plus 15k minus 20, and that's your final answer. Right? Got two more problems. So the last two problems are a little bit bigger. You need to, what do you call it? And you need the answer of the previous one to move on to the next one. So let me show you what that means. So here we go. 10k squared, or not. I have an idea. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to maybe erase everything. I'm going to go back up. Sorry. I can do this. Just pause. Okay, so the last question, we're on 10k squared plus 8m minus 2k squared plus 2m. So first thing they ask you to do is combine like terms. By now you should be quite proficient at that. So we got this, and we got this guy over here. Place is minus 2k squared, and we'll put a rectangle around the 8m and around the plus 2m. So in our circle we're going to have 10k squared minus 2k squared, and we're going to have 8m, okay, and plus 2m. So our final answer would be 10 minus 2 is we got 8 of the k squares plus 10m. So that's the first part. Now they're asking you to take that and create an equivalent expression for 8k squared plus 10m. So one way of doing that is using the ladder method, and that gives you the answer right away. So let's see how that works. Let me change colors. Okay, a number that goes into both 8 and 10, that looks like it's a 2. And 2 goes into 8 4 times, and you get 4k squared. 2 goes into 10 5 times. Okay, bring everything down exactly. The addition side should come down as well. And that's it. No other number will go into 4 and 5 except 1, so we don't have to do it. So we're done. In this case, it was pretty easy. So our new expression is going to be 2. Inside the parentheses, you get 4k squared plus 5m. And if you want to double check your work, you can always just do this really properly. And you get 2 times 4k is 8k squared. And 2 times the 5 equals 10m. So this expression right here is the same thing as this expression. Okay, so you just created yourself a brand new expression which is equivalent to your original, this one. Okay, so now that you have two expressions and they're equal to each other because they're the same, they're asking you to find the value of it. So you're going to take this expression right here once the screen stops moving. Okay, 2 4k k to the second power plus 5m, and they give you the values. So k equals 5 and m equals 6 if you look at your sheet. So let's substitute. So you get 2 4 times, and again k is 5, so 5 to the second power plus 5 times m, and m is 6, and you get something like that. Follow order of operations. So we're going to do inside the parentheses first. And inside the parentheses we have the 4 stays the same. 5 squared, let's take care of our exponents. 5 squared is 25. And 5 times 6, I'll leave that for the next slide. Okay. Alright, so going back there, now we can do the multiplication. 4 times 25 is 100. Plus 5 times 6 is 30. We're still not done with our parentheses. 100 plus 30 is 130. Okay. Now our final step, we're going to multiply this 2 times the 130, and that should give us 260 as our total. Okay, so this last problem had 3 steps for us to do. Okay. So on the right column, we're going to do sort of the same thing. Okay, but it was a different expression. So our expression here is 9w to the second power plus 14h minus 3w to the second power plus 4h. I forgot an h here. Okay. At the bottom, you'll see that w equals 10 and m equals 4. Okay, if you go down, this m should have been an h. Okay, hopefully you caught on to that. So let's combine like terms. You get 9w here minus 3w. So you're going to get 9w to the second power minus 3w to the second power. And you get 6w to the second power. The h's, you got a 14h here. And you got a plus 4h. And that's going to give us 18h. So our expression is going to be 6w squared plus 18h. Let's find an equivalent expression. Okay, and let's find something that also means 6w squared plus 18h, and one way of doing that is factoring out. So number that goes into, you know what, I'm going to do this the longer way. 2, I'm going to pick 2. 2 goes into 6, 2 goes into 18. 2 goes into 6 3 times, so we get 3w to the second power. And 2 goes into 18 9 times, and you get 9h. There is another number that we can use to continue this, and that number is 3, because 3 goes into 3, and 3 goes into 9. So 3 goes into 3 one time, 1w squared, and 3 goes into 9 3 times, and that gives us 3h. So our expression, okay, our expression is going to look like this. And our factor outside here is going to be the product of these two numbers, which is 2 times 3 is 6. And inside, which is these two terms are going to be right here. Instead of writing 1w, I'm just going to write w squared, it's the same thing, plus 3h. You can always double check. 3 times w squared, and I'm forgetting 6. Oh, I'm sorry. Mistake. 2 times 3 is 6. That's what I should have written. Now I can check. 6 times w squared is 6w squared. 6 times 3h is 18h. So guess what? That and this, the same thing except written a little bit differently. Okay. And now we have, again, hopefully you caught on to that we have a value that w equals 10. And although it says m on the sheet, it should have been h, so h equals 4. So let's substitute and find the value of this. You get 6, w to the second power is 10 to the second power, plus 3h, or 3 times 4. Okay, so we're going to do order of operations inside the parentheses. Let's take care of our exponents, which is 100, plus 3 times 4. And we get 6 parentheses, 100, plus 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 4 is 12. Okay. Now we can finally add inside the parentheses. Oops. And you get 6. 100 plus 12 is 112. And we eventually have to multiply by 6. Let's see what we get. 6 times 12 is 12. Carry the 1. 6 times 1 is 7. 672. If I didn't make any mistakes, that is your final answer for that particular question. Okay. We had a few more, about 3 more questions. Alright, so what are the like terms in the expressions? Okay, so it's not easy. That's not hard enough. It's not easy. It's not hard. 1 and 2. 16y plus 8m squared plus 7y cubed, yikes, plus 28y plus 5m squared. So, like terms, 16y and 28y are like terms. Let's see, 8m squared and 5m squared, and what I should have been doing is this. Sorry. Okay. 8m squared and 5m squared. I'm not asking you to combine, I'm just asking you to identify the like terms. And 7y, that's it. Okay, 7y cubed has nothing, no one that also shares the y cubed. Okay, so the only like terms are 16y, 28y, and 8m squared and 5m squared. Okay. And we have one more. So we have 8k to the 4th plus 4k to the 2nd plus 5k to the 4th plus 2k to the 3rd plus k. Yikes. Okay, let's see if I can do. So here, k to the 4th, yes we have. Here 1, here's 2. Like terms are 8k4 and 5k4. And let's see, to the second power? Nope, this is the third power and this is to the first power, so they're not the same. And that's it. The only like terms are 8k to the 4th power and 5k to the 4th power. This doesn't have anybody else that has a k to the 2nd. This one does not have anybody else that has k to the 3rd. And this one does not have anybody else. It's just simply 8k. So the only like terms are 8k4 and 5k4. Okay. That's that. Oh, one more question. What is true in order for this? So what is true of the expression 8 squared minus 9 and 3m are equivalent. For these to be equivalent, okay, or equal, what has to be true? Well, whatever value you get when you substitute, whatever they tell you that A equals, whatever they tell you that M equals over here, which I have no idea and you have no idea, but whatever it is, when you substitute and you do all your calculations, let's say this number happens to be, I don't know, let's make it up, 13, guess what? The number here is also going to be 13. So in order for these to be equivalent, their values have to be the same. Okay? I think that's it. I'm missing something. Yes, your words here. Huh. Interesting. Let's see. Here's your word. Okay, which is the name of the tablet I use to do the videos. And that's it. It's 6:31, so it should be over or up by 7, depending on Yahoo's mood.